great fight, guys. We barely lost anything. I only lost like my shield. And you know, we're just out in the middle of nowhere fighting. But I need to loot this box. But it was a good like 50 minutes of us just shooting each other from 50 meters before we finally fought. I'm sure nobody heard, right? We'll be fine. We'll be fine. But let me loot this box out in the open where anyone can third party us. But you know, I need to take my time. I need to loot. You know? So the shield battery, I need one of those. I'm not gonna use it right now, but I need one. Syringe and a med kit, like 20 of those. Yeah, I'll have like 20 of those in my bag. You know. Why does this guy have so many Marvin arms?
Faster, faster, faster!
I'm guessing if you guys clicked on this video, it's because you guys, like me, really hate third parties. So if you guys really hate third parties, then you're going to want to stick through this whole video. I'm going to give you guys a few questions that I want you guys to process just about every time you guys want to take a fight or hear gunshots or want to rotate towards a fight. Because I think answering these questions and thinking about them in your mind before you approach something very quickly can allow you to avoid the third party situation, avoid dying to them, avoid losing a teammate to them, or just getting really hurt, or maybe held out by zone or another team later on. So I'm going to give you these questions, and I hope you guys can process them, absorb them, and take them and apply them to your game. So guys, like and subscribe, and let's dive right into the first question. The first scenario or question I want to put in front of you guys is basically, you identify the teams that are fighting. Are there any knocks? Is this going to be a quick fight because maybe it might be a 1v1 left and it'd be an easy wipe and you can kill the knocks of the team that is still alive or whatever, you can steal kills. Is it going to be a quick fight? Are there a lot of knocks? So what do I mean by any of this? This is basically just with something that I bring up in previous videos in ranked guides and stuff like that, which is basically your fights in Apex, high level Apex, need to be quick. They need to be under 10 seconds long, because if the fights drag on past a few seconds, 20 seconds to a minute, and you're just maybe at mid-range, long-range shooting at each other, teams are just going to hear bullets and they're going to start attracting, and you're going to be attracting possible third-party candidates. So if the fight is not a quick, clean, easy one where one, you're not going to take much damage, no risk of having a knock yourself, and you can just quickly wipe them, take their loot, and then be on your merry way. If that's the case, and maybe you do have a bloodhound, or maybe you can just see the fight from afar and you can get that knowledge of, oh, it's just a 1v1 or it's a 2v1 left, we can easily swarm, wipe the last 3 people because they're not going to be full health, get them, take whatever loot we need, and get out of there before anyone else that might have been around even paid attention. Like, that's a scenario I want you guys to like process. Like, try and take in, look at the people getting knocked on the right. Does that match up with the sound of any of the guns that you guys are watching being shot? If so, you can kind of pay attention to the names and try and put together who's getting knocked, who's downing who, did they trade, So also watching, your kill feed at the top right is very important, because it'll give you very important information sometimes if you can make out with your ears what guns are being shot at the fight you're watching. You can start piecing together with your team. Okay, I think it's just one down. Okay, that guy just got knocked, so they just traded, so now 2 are down, And at that point, you can start making a push. That just makes your fights cleaner, quicker, easier, and that's one way to finish a squad, get the loot that you need, and get out before anyone third parties you. So that's the first question scenario that I want you guys to just absorb. The second question I want to throw in front of you guys is basically, so you see a fight, or you're gonna take a fight, you see a team in front of you, or you do see a fight going on, and you're like, we want to get in this is juicy, or we can kill that team, they have 2 whites and a blue, and we have 3 purples, like, we can take this team. But you look around, and I don't know, you're in the Hammond Labs area on Olympus, or you're, I don't know, in one of those like desert areas in the middle of Kings Canyon, or your Salvage, or one of those areas that's highly transited. So you want to take this fight, but you look around and you're not sure if teams are around. this is where I want you guys to make the thing of, look to see if there's any other teams around you that may be, in a POI that might be a little bit far away, or you might hear them rotating behind you guys, or you see them flying in. Pay attention to who's around. Pay attention if there's teams close by fighting as well. That's not even maybe the fight you're watching, or is not the team that you're looking at. Pay attention to who's around you. If you see multiple teams fighting to your right, you don't want to initiate a fight right here, because those teams might just stop and turn and look at you guys, and now you guys are getting third party, Or you don't want a third party, but then or you don't want a third party or start a fight with another team when there's just another team sitting at this POI looting, and they know you guys are gonna fight, and then they just know they have the third party. So knowing when to initiate a fight or when to jump into a fight is a skill in itself. Ask yourself the question, are there teams around us? How many teams are even around us? Should we even take this fight? Because if we take this fight, our team's just literally just watching us like vultures, like just waiting for us to jump into this fight, because they can literally see us and we're just brain dead. They're gonna jump into it and then they're just gonna pounce, or we're gonna make so much noise, the teams over here turn and look at us, So that's like the second question I want to throw in front of you guys, Who's all around you guys? Who's there? The third question I want to propose and put in front of you guys is basically, what area on the map are you in? What area on the map are you in? Are you in an area of the map that a lot of teams tend to rotate through? If so, that's also a scary place to start a fight or jump into a fight. I know one area that I hate is on Kings Canyon, the Middle River area in front of Bunker. I hate fighting in that area. Why? Because a lot of teams tend to rotate through there, because there's a lot of ways in and very few ways out, and those little shacks are very hard to even hold and defend yourself in. That is one area that I'm always like, we just go. Like, you don't stop here, you just go. Same with Hammond Labs area. That's one of those places where I'm just like, dude, we just go. We don't stop to fight here because there's so many ways in. It's just a bad area, and that's just map knowledge, knowing the map you're fighting on, trying to just like go. Because if you take fights there, there's so many ways for teams to get in there, and it's like a centralized area of the map that there's usually teams all around that area that if they hear gunshots, they're gonna go to there, no matter if the fight's quick or not, Because it might be quick, but then the place you're trying to escape to, there's a team coming that way. And then you have to stop to fight them, and then the team finally from the back catches up to you, So it's really about map knowledge, knowing where you are. Is this even if the team is like really bad, if they're poopy, like you can steamroll them, but you have to know where you are, because even the 20, 30, 10 seconds for the fight, 10 seconds that you loot could be enough for two teams to close in on you, and there's nothing you can do at that point. So really knowing the map, knowing where you are, can help you make better decisions about, should I take this fight, should I try and even jump into this other fight, or should I just book it? Keep going, focus on staying alive, focus on continuing. So that's the third question I want to propose for you guys. So my fourth question for you guys is basically this one that I want to just say that I experienced recently in ranked. There was a fight going around in Solar Array. My team had to rotate through because I think the zone was maybe hydroponics area. We were rotating through, we saw a fight of like two teams on our right, and my teammate was Bloodhound scanned. We saw that it was like 2 knocks maybe, or like it was a 2v1 or a 1v1, and we wanted to jump in, but we realized, one, we were very far from zone and the ring was already closing in behind us. So even though it was like still ring 1 or 2, we didn't want to be that far out with that much to go, because of, just losing like meds and heals and having to get all the way into zone, and the best places are going to be gone by then. That was the one thing. The second thing was, we could hear and know that just like we were rotating through that area and we knew that there was like a huge fight, we also knew that there was a team behind us and a team coming from Rift to third and fourth team that fight. So that's where I remember I made the call and we were just like, you know what, dude, this is not worth it. We need to just keep going. Like, we need to keep going, get to where we're going, ignore this third party. Why? Because if we stop the fight here, we're probably gonna get fourth and fifth partied, and either maybe we win it because we win it, but then what's gonna happen is the zone's gonna catch up to us. We're gonna be deep in the ring, and we're gonna have to rotate all the way up. And what happens at that point, and what happens at like higher levels, maybe not like bronze, silver, gold, plat. Even when you get to diamond, especially masters and stuff, teams will be zone camping. When I say zone camping is teams know where the ring, like the ring stops moving for ring 2, you know, it ends here. So a team will be in whatever POI is right here, just looking out into the zone when it closes, waiting like, hey, is there any stragglers? Is there any team that was deep fighting into zone, and they're gonna come in with, you know, half their health down or something. And it's also hard to see when you're coming out of zone. It's very red, orangey, so sometimes you also can't see if there's a team there. Also, these teams could have maybe heard your fight in zone and been like, let's just take an area, let's just cover kind of this area right here and see if they rotate through late. Which again, you're gonna be low on heals or you're gonna be low on health, which should be easy if they just beam you guys coming out. So that's another reason why in this instance, you know, even if you take this fight, are you just gonna get zone camped? Are you just gonna get wiped when you hit zone eventually? So does that KP that you got at that point even matter anymore? Because you didn't get third partied immediately, but you got like destroyed coming out of zone. Not necessarily a third party, but because of the fight you took, you got mowed down and you can't do anything at that point. But that was just a scenario I wanted to bring up to you guys that happened to me in the game, because we recognized, even though that was a fight we could have won easily, we knew because we heard there was 2 other teams, and we turned and I think we looked and saw that there was 2 teams coming in behind us and one at Rift, all closing in on that fight, and we were like, you know what, we're just gonna run past this, and we ignored it. Even if it was KP we could have gotten, we were able to hold, you know, restrain ourselves, which is something that a lot of players can't do. They see a fight, hear a fight, they're like, we have to do this. There's so many knocks. Oh my god, KP. Control yourself, you know? 1 or 2 KP or even 3 KP is not worth dying there or dying later. You get more RP for just surviving that fight. At the end of the day, you might end up winning the game versus dying 8th with 3 KP, you know? So it's that trade-off of, can I take this fight in zone, and is there still enough leeway for me to rotate in a timely manner, or am I just super far to where I can't even take this fight? We might even get 3rd or 4th partied in zone, you know, in the storm, and then even if we win that, is a team gonna zone camp us out? So that's like this whole other aspect to how to take these fights and how to avoid these third parties and dying in silly-ish ways, you know? So it's really about taking in your surroundings, knowing where your teams are, knowing the area of the map you're in, while also knowing, hey, is maybe the zone closing gonna push teams into me? Is zone closing, you know, and the ring getting to me, is that gonna cause me to have so little health that I'm gonna, maybe if I run into a team, it's gonna get me killed, even though I have good meds because I was in the storm for so long? These are all aspects to avoiding third parties, avoiding dying in dumb ways that make you mad, you know? I hope all these questions, these points of views, my little experience that I just threw you guys out there can help you guys, you know, avoid third parties better, survive longer, and win more games, guys. So, if you like this video, remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys at the next one.